Good morning, everyone. I wanted to take a few minutes to talk with you about Unit 6. Okay, so in Unit 5, you were looking at the ORU library website, you were finding sources, you were learning how to synthesize kind of all of the parts and pieces that we do for the research paper that you are now going to complete for Unit 6. Okay, so after successfully doing Unit 6 and the assignments here, here's what I'm hoping for you, or my objectives for you. You should be able to discuss the reasons for and the consequences of plagiarism. So that's the discussion post that you're working on right now. Okay, so you should be able to talk about, you know, what's the deal with plagiarism and what are the consequences of plagiarizing and violating the honor code in that way. I want you to also be able to recognize the principles of integrating and documenting your sources in writing an essay. So that's that quiz that you're going to do and all of the stuff that you do in MindTap. And finally, for Project 6, which does not happen this coming Sunday, but the following Sunday, is that research paper that you're going to do. And it's to be organized by cause and effect. So I just want us to talk through all of these things so that you know where you're going and what you should be doing. Okay, so Unit 5 was all about finding answers. Unit 6 is about finally using those answers. So in this unit, you're going to complete that journey. It's coming full circle from the sources to the synthesis to now a polished, documented research paper that you can actually be proud of. So I want you to really think about that. So by the end of the unit, I want you to know how to integrate your sources ethically, explain causes and effects clearly, and most of all, avoid plagiarism, but not just for this class, for every class that you take in the future and in your future work, because that's really, really important. Okay? So I want us to take a look at what we have in the unit. So in order to do that, I'm going to share my screen with you, and I want you to be able to look at the unit with me. So we're in D2L for this. And if you look in D2L, if we go up to the top and start, it tells you all about the module. It doesn't have the due dates here, but they're in the news section for you. I can't change them here, but I can change them in the news section. So that's where that is. But these are the things that you're going to do. Okay. And here's all of this overview for you, including those learning objectives that I just discussed and what you need to pay attention to, what you need to do. Okay. So let's first talk about just our idea of why are we doing this? Why does this matter to us? Why is it important to us? Okay. So I want you to be aware that we're working on whole person education. And so we want to be the best whole person that we can be, not just, oh, I want to get an A, even though getting an A is great, but you want to be the best whole person that you can be. So in the forum, you're going to discuss why plagiarism has become so widespread and what the Bible has to say about the subject. And that's really critical for our spirit-empowered whole person education. What does the Bible say? We should always go back to what does the Bible say? I don't necessarily just want you to share quotes or ideas like you do on social media. I want you to find relevant Bible passages that honestly answer your understanding of this and how it relates to why you would do those things. Okay, so Forum 6, The Dangers of Plagiarism. According to plagiarism.org, a survey of 63,700 US undergrads by Rutgers University, by a professor at Rutgers University, found that 36% of undergraduates admit to paraphrasing or copying a few sentences from an internet source without footnoting it or without providing a citation. That's plagiarism. Okay. And we can see that this is pretty widespread. The president of Harvard was a couple years ago lost their job for this. So it's pretty widespread. It's pretty big. So we're asking ourselves, how does Scripture address the topic of plagiarism? And when you look at the Bible, how do you cite the Bible? What's going on there? What do I do? So I want you to pay attention to the news section because I will post in the news section how you cite the Bible appropriately. But I also want to talk about the directions. So for our forum, as it has been with all of them, but I want you to understand what's a complete forum and what's an incomplete forum. Once the forum opens on day 1, so that was yesterday, you need to start a thread by day 3. That's tomorrow, Wednesday. Your initial post should be 200 to 300 words and not count your citations. And I want you to see what it says there. You must include at least 2 citations in your original post and in each response post. So that means by the time you're done, you will have 6 things that you have sourced and cited. 1 citation has to come from the assigned textbook, okay? But the others will come from all study materials and literature and the Bible and things like that. You need to cite your sources correctly. You need to have a title for it because you want to invite your classmates to talk to you about this. This takes the place of classroom discussion because we're not sitting in a traditional classroom together. This takes the place of that. So that's why when you're trying to make it up later, it makes no sense to make it up later. This is the classroom discussion piece. Okay. Then by day 7, which is this coming Sunday, you need to write 2 response posts. 2. Each of them needs to be 150 to 200 words. Okay. And you're either going to respond to those on their thread or on yours. Okay. And there's a little thing here that you can download, Forum Participation Made Easy. Take a look at that if you'd like. But this is what I'm telling you, it really needs. In order to score the highest possible score on the dialogue grading rubric, you must have cited all your sources. That goes under content. And if you read what that says in the rubric, you will see very clearly that it talks about, did you use and cite your sources? It's really important. If you don't do that, I can't give you full credit for it. It also talks about argument and analysis, and that's where you're looking at the posts of other people. Are you evaluating it? Are you having a conversation with that person, much like you'd have a conversation in class if you agree or disagree with someone? And then finally, the grammar and the mechanics piece, which is, are you citing, are things cited correctly? Are you using correct formatting, capitalization, punctuation, all of that stuff? Okay, that's really important there too. So if you want to get the highest score on that, you must complete all the steps. If you do the post but not the replies, your assignment is incomplete. You're going to earn a 50 on it if your initial post is really, really good. And it'll go down from there because I can only give you 50% credit when you do 50% of the assignment. So I want you to understand what makes an assignment complete or incomplete. Okay. No, in reality, I could give you a 0 for that. I'm not trying to give you a 0. I want you to earn the best grade possible. So, but when I post, this is an incomplete assignment, it means you did not follow the directions totally. So you should be aware of that. Okay. So there's that piece. So your initial post is due tomorrow, and I'm going to check and see, did you do your initial post on time? Okay. So that's going to happen tomorrow. And then, of course, on Sunday, you want to have those replies in. Okay. Then you have your quizzes to do. So you know how to do that with MindTap. It's all there and you're going to do that. Okay. Then the documented research paper. And this is what I want you to really pay attention to. I asked you in Unit 5 to look at the project assignment file. And I think many of you did. If you didn't, please look at it. But we especially want to look at the Unit 6 project assignment file. What's going on here? Okay. So let's look at it. And I need to reshare. Give me 1 second here to reshare for you. because it doesn't always come up the way that I want it to. So I'm going to share again and make sure that you can see this. So here's your project 6, your assignment file. It's got everything you need here. It's got the list of topics again, which was also in the Unit 5 file. It's got reminders for the academic writing. It's got a description of everything you need to accomplish there. Okay. And what I think is really important is it has this checklist. And if you go through and do all of that checklist there, go, yes, I've done, yes, I've done, yes, I've done, all the way through, you're going to be more successful and you're going to get a better grade. And it's a pretty long one, but you're going to have all of that there. So please look at this. These are the directions. Very, very important. I will also be posting models for you and a template for you so that you can see it. But I want to be sure that you're really paying attention to how do you do this? Okay. So let's look at these directions. Directions say, hey, your paper should be 5 to 8 pages long. It should be written in MLA format. It's organized by cause and effect. Okay. So how are you going to accomplish that? Well, the very first thing that you want to do is think about that research question that you established in Unit 5 in your Project 5. Revisit that question, okay? And then after you revisit that, look at all of your sources that you came up with in Unit 5. Check them, make sure that they fit what you need or what you're trying to accomplish with your research question. And then group them by sources first. So, okay, I'm going to have my sources out. Here are the things that I have. Don't group them by author, group them by the idea that they cover. So if you have your thesis statement and you look at your thesis statement, hopefully it's got some points built in there, then you can divide your sources up to go with, okay, this source goes with this point, this source goes with this point, etc. So group your sources by ideas, not by authors. Look at your outline because you want to outline causes first and then effects. Make sure you address both in your writing. Okay. Then you're going to draft your body paragraphs with your evidence integrated. And the way that you do that to make sure that you have the best is to use what I call the Jane Schaefer writing or multi-sentence paragraph pattern writing. And what that is for every body paragraph, you start at the top with a topic sentence that follows your thesis statement. So you do topic sentence, and then after you do topic sentence, you're going to introduce your first piece of evidence, whatever that is. So whatever source you have, you found a piece of evidence, you want to use this evidence. So you're going to introduce that evidence. Don't just start by slam right off in entering the evidence. Introduce it. According to so-and-so, this is, or per my experience, this is. And then you're going to introduce this quote, making sure that you quote it properly. You have the quotation marks, you've written it correctly and properly, all of the punctuation, everything's there. Then you're going to close your quotation marks. Don't put a mark of punctuation, close your quotation marks, put your in-text citation, and then after your in-text citation, you'll put the period. That is the evidence. But it's not enough just to write the evidence. Now I want you to tell me why it's important. So explain the evidence first, and then explain why you used the evidence. You've got to learn to do all of that without writing in first person. That can be a little bit challenging, but I'm happy to walk you through that if you need me to walk you through that. Okay, so you have effectively in that situation, you now have 4 sentences in your paragraph. You have a topic sentence, you have the where you've embedded the evidence into the evidence sentence, then you have a sentence of explanation and a sentence of elaboration. That's 4 sentences. Now I want you to go back and repeat the process. Give me another piece of evidence, another piece of explanation, another elaboration, and then if you want, you can just close up with a conclusion there, or you can add yet another, what I call a chunk, another piece of evidence, another explanation, another elaboration. That's going to show integrated evidence, and it's going to have a lot of your voice in it. So it's not just something that is robotic feeling or mechanical, or even something that you've AI generated. I know that you can find the information. We're all really good at finding information. I want to see that you've critically thought through and that you're working with the information. So each of your body paragraphs would look like that. So you're going to draft several of those beyond 5 paragraphs, because you're going 5 to 8 pages here. Okay. Add your in-text citations as you write. Even if you think it's not right, you're going to have to go back and fix it. Go ahead and put it in there. Then you can look at it to be double sure. And then finally, you're going to build the works cited page last. This is not a copy of your annotated bibliography. I see that so often where students just insert that annotated bibliography at the end. Oop, there it is, I'm done. That is not the right thing to do. You have already made your citations, but you need to copy those over and build a properly formatted works cited page. So you don't need the summary and the explanation part of the annotated bibliography. You're going to need the actual citations formatted properly with the hanging dents and all of those things on that final page of your paper. Okay, so I want you to look that over very carefully and be aware of that. Please don't wait till the end to add your citations, because if you don't add them as you draft, you're going to get confused and maybe miss some or format them incorrectly. Okay? I want to talk to you about plagiarism and especially AI use. So, in my experience, plagiarism is more common today for a few big reasons. Number one is time pressure. I've got sports to do. I've got other classes. I've got all of these things. I don't have time to do all of this well. Okay. So that's one thing. But then we also have digital shortcuts and maybe just confusion about paraphrasing. And I noticed earlier in the semester that you were confused about how to properly paraphrase. So I think all of those things kind of build together to make us have a perfect storm, and then add AI in the mix, and you've just got a lot of soup going on there that can cause plagiarism problems. Okay? But here's what I want you to understand. We are not just scholars, we are Christian scholars. So that means we're called to do something higher or be something higher than just the world and what everybody in the world is doing. Okay? In 1 Corinthians 10:31, it says, whatever you do, whether you eat or drink or whatever you're doing, you need to do it all for the glory of God. So that includes the papers that you're writing. Okay? So Form 6 is going to ask you to reflect on, why is plagiarism so widespread, which is what I just did? What are its consequences? And then what does Scripture really teach us about honesty and authorship? Those are the things you're going to be writing about. So I want you to think deeply about them. The best way for you to be successful: answer the prompt fully, be thoughtful but not preachy to your friends, reflect, analyze, apply Scripture meaningfully, but give me your own thoughts and opinions about it, and then engage respectfully with your peers. Don't grade them. Act like you're having a conversation with them in person, and do that conversation on paper. Here's what I want you to also understand. Quality is always greater than quantity. Depth of your writing and discussion is always going to matter more than word count. Always, to me. Okay? Unit 6 is bringing together so much of what we have learned already. It's bringing it together. So you're not just proving to me that you can write a research paper. You've probably written those before. You're also demonstrating integrity, critical thinking, and academic maturity. So if you take this step by step, you'll not only succeed, you're going to feel really confident, and you're going to be able to carry these skills forward, which is really my ultimate goal. Okay? I want you to really approach this from a heart of integrity. Okay, Grammarly Pro, PaperRater, there's a million others that I could name. All of those are generative AI. Even if they don't feel like generative AI, they are. They are going to scrub away your personal voice from anything that you're writing if you allow them to. So don't allow them to erase you and your voice. I believe that you can do this with integrity. I believe that you can do it with clarity, and that's really what I want for you. I believe you've got this, but I want you to make sure that you're demonstrating your integrity when you write, and that you're writing with clarity as I've described above. Okay? So if you have questions, please shoot me an email. I will do my best to get back to you very quickly on that. Do allow me to have some turnaround, because I do teach several classes here on campus at ORU in addition to teaching you online. So I'm busy doing a lot of different things, but I will always try to answer you in the most timely manner that I possibly can. I'm making these videos to kind of help you find answers too whenever possible. So again, please do your best to avoid plagiarism and the AI conversation. So please don't just AI generate your work. Please don't purchase your paper from somewhere. Please don't run it through PaperRater or Grammarly Pro or whatever. While Grammarly is a good tool, if you change anything beyond punctuation and an occasional word, spelling, that kind of thing, it will hit as generative AI. If you do whole sentences, like it will suggest, this sentence is awkward, let me fix it for you. If you let them do that, it's going to come up as generated, because it is. Not because maybe you have the heart to make it generative, but because whether you realize it or not, it is generative. So I want you to just be aware of that and approach it with really good integrity. For your forum that's due tomorrow, I really want you to look at that forum participation made easy guide, because I want you to think about the 4 required moves that they're asking for. Okay. The first one is frame. Establish the focus of your post. You're writing about plagiarism, but what's your focus? Then I want you to advocate. Make a clear, research supported claim about plagiarism. Then provide an example, add some scripture or experience to that. That's the illustrative part of the writing. And then something that's really, really good for you to do is at the end, add a thoughtful question so that somebody else can come on and answer your question, and you can have like a classroom discussion. Okay? If even one of the pieces of that is missing, then your whole thing's going to feel incomplete, no matter how intelligent it is. It's only scoring incomplete if you don't do both the initial and the forum, or the initial forum and the reply posts. That's when it scores incomplete. But if you don't take a look at those 4 moves and function in those 4 moves, then it's going to feel incomplete, no matter how wonderful it is. Okay? So I hope this has helped you. If you have further questions, please go in the news, look at my booking link, and get with me. I will try to accommodate your time as much as possible, but I am here in my office from 1:30 to 3:30, Monday through Friday, to talk with you, because I want you to be successful. I want you to earn the highest grade possible. I want you to know that about me. I am not here trying to tank your grade, but with grace, there must be discipline. So, I mean, the Bible talks about that. The Bible talks about grace and discipline going together. So you have to be disciplined in your um, initiation of all of this as well. Thank you for your time and your attention. Have a really, really great day. Bye, y'all.